everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So here we are going to be looking at further exponentials. We are going to be solving this question. So now what we just need to do is make sure that the way we solve this is we substitute this with any variable such as y or any other variable that you want. So in this case you need to have this common and this to be common. So knowing the rules of indices, we know to say if you have, let's say, 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power 2, you can pick one base and add the powers to say 3. You pick one base, then add the powers like that. But this means to say you can take this back by saying that this is the same as 2 to the power 3 times 2 to the power of 2. We haven't changed anything. So this forms the first base, this forms the second part of the exponent, I would say. So now with that idea, what we are going to do is that this is the same as 2 to the power this first number 2x times 2 to the power 1, like that. Even if you were to multiply, you are going to go back to that. Then we have minus our 15, then we have our 2 to the power x minus our 8 should be equal to 0. Now according to this is the same as 2 to the power of, this is the same as 2 to the power of x times our 2. We know to say this times this, it will still give you that. Then we have our 2 to the power 1 minus our 15 times we have our 2 to the power x, like that. Then we have our 8 should be equal to a 0, like that. So our 2 to the power x is equal to so what you're going to do from here, you have this as your common thing. You're going to say you're going to let your y be equal to 2 to the power of x, like that. Then you're going to put it there. So we have our y to the power of 2, then we have times 2, then minus our 15, then where there is this, we are going to put y. We have minus 8 should be equal to 0. Then this 2 times y, we are going to have 2y squared minus our 15y minus our 8 should be equal to 0, like that. So according to this, we are going to have this is the quadratic equation. We are going to have our product is equal to AC, and our AC in this case should be equal to, so according to a quadratic equation, this is our A, this is our B, this is our C. So our AC is 2 times negative 8, which will give us negative 16, like that. Then the sum will be equal to B, which will be equal to negative 15, like that. So it is just this number. Then we have our factors, 2 numbers, which when you add them, they are going to give you negative 15. When you multiply them, they are going to give you negative 16. These numbers are negative 16 itself and positive 1. So if you add these, they are going to give you negative 15. If you multiply, positive. Then what we are going to do is, so we have a 2y there, 2y squared. Where there is this number, we are going to put this. So we have minus our 16y. Then we have plus 1 will be positive. Then this we are going to have minus our 8 should be equal to a 0, like that. So with that done, we are going to have here, we are going to group them in 2 parts. So we have 2 is common and the y is common. Then we are going to have y, we are remaining with y minus 16 divided by 2 is 8, like that. Here we have 1 is common, so positive 1 is common. Open brackets, we are remaining with 1, doesn't change anything, should be equal to 0. So the brackets are matching up. So we have a 2y plus 1 and a y minus 8, like that. This should be equal to 0. So either 2y plus 1 should be equal to 0, or our y minus our 8, y minus 8 is equal to 0. So we have, this goes the other side. We are going to have our 2y should be equal to negative 1 over our 2, like that. So y is equal to negative 1 over 2. Or we have our y minus 8 is equal to 0. So y should be equal to 8, like that. So this means that either y is equal to this or y is equal to that. Now remember, y is equal to the power this. Now, this 2 to the power x can never be equal to any negative number. That is one thing that you must know. If it is equal to a negative, you can't solve it. Like, for example, if you have 2x is equal to negative 2, there's no number which you can be able to put as the power of x that can be equal to a negative. Whether you put 1, it will give you positive 2 as the answer. If you put negative 1, it will give you, the answer will be 1 over 2. 1 over 2. Whichever value you are going to put there, it is still going to give you a positive. So 2 to the power x or any exponents can never be equal to a negative number like that. So therefore, considering, we are just going to consider the positive. So we are going to consider the positive. So with that said, we are going to have our 2 to the power of x is equal to 8 like that, because y is also equal to that, and we know y is equal to 2 to the power x according to what we substituted. So we can now solve this. So this is the same as 2 to the power x is equal to 8 is the same as 2 to the power of 3. This and this cancel. Our x value is equal to positive 3 like that. So this is our value of x that satisfies the equation. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, subscribe and share for more. See you in the next tutorial.